Welcome to our deep dive, and today we'll be exploring a fascinating conversation between Neil deGrasse Tyson and Laurence Fishburne.
Okay.
We've got their interviews, some background info, and our mission is to kind of uncover the surprising connections between science,
Uh-huh.
media, and career inspiration.
What's intriguing is that it's not just about acting,
Right.
but like how media shapes our view of science and how curiosity fuels both these fields.
Yeah, right off the bat, there's this fun moment where they're playfully competing to do Morpheus impressions from The Matrix.
Yeah,
It's a great reminder that science doesn't have to be intimidating, it can be fun and engaging too.
absolutely. It sets a lighthearted tone for the whole discussion, making the science more accessible.
You actually had an early connection to science yourself.
I did.
Visiting the Hayden Planetarium as a kid, what sparked that visit?
My mom was a science teacher, and she instilled a sense of wonder about the universe in me. From a young age, those visits were definitely eye-opening.
That's fascinating because while you didn't become a scientist, you ended up exploring scientific themes through your acting career.
I did.
It makes you wonder how those early experiences shape our paths, even indirectly.
It's true. The seeds of curiosity were planted early on, even though they blossomed in a different field.
And that passion for acting, was that also driven by curiosity?
Absolutely. I've always been drawn to exploring different lives and perspectives,
Yeah.
which is what drew me to acting in the first place.
That's evident in the incredible range of roles you've played throughout your career, from the young sailor in Apocalypse Now to Pops in Blackish.
Right.
That kind of variety shows how curiosity can keep a career fresh and exciting.
It's about constantly seeking new challenges and pushing myself outside my comfort zone.
Speaking of Apocalypse Now, there's this great story about you landing that role at just 14 years old.
Oh, yeah.
You actually lied about your age, pretending to be 16, and the filmmakers knew but cast you anyway.
They did.
That takes guts.
Well, let's just say I was very determined to be a part of that film.
Yeah.
It was a risk worth taking.
And it paid off in a big way. Now let's talk about some of your other roles that really leaned into science fiction and action,
Sure.
like The Matrix, Event Horizon, The Colony, and Contagion. It's
Yeah.
interesting how you've consistently engaged with speculative and scientific themes throughout your career.
Those genres allow you to explore big ideas and push the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah.
They can be thought-provoking and entertaining at the same time.
Your role as a CDC director in Contagion was particularly striking,
It was.
especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. It's eerie how relevant that film became.
It really highlighted the interconnectedness of our world and how quickly a virus can spread globally.
Right.
The film aimed for scientific accuracy, and we even consulted with real CDC experts during production.
So you were dealing with these concepts long before they became everyday realities for the rest of us.
It definitely gave me a deeper appreciation for the work that the CDC does
Yeah.
and the importance of public health.
Speaking of the CDC, Neil deGrasse Tyson makes a compelling point about their work. He compares the CDC to NASA's mission control constantly monitoring global health.
That's a powerful analogy. Both organizations operate under immense pressure, using cutting-edge technology to monitor and respond to potential threats, whether it's a pandemic or a malfunctioning spacecraft.
Yeah,
It's
right.
high stakes all the time.
Absolutely. It really underscores the critical role these institutions play in protecting us from threats seen and unseen.
Yeah.
And it brings us back to this idea of media shaping our perception of science.
Yeah.
You've been a part of shows like CSI where you played a pathologist, which actually saw a spike in real-life interest in forensic science.
Yeah, it's amazing how those portrayals can make a difference.
Right.
You know, for some viewers, it was their first glimpse into that world.
It makes you realize how important representation is. Seeing a relatable figure like yourself in that role probably sparked curiosity in people who may not have considered science as a field before.
That was certainly the hope to demystify science and show that it's not just for a select few, but a field accessible to anyone with curiosity and a desire to learn.
Exactly. And speaking of sparking curiosity, both you and Neil deGrasse Tyson emphasize that it's not just a childhood trait,
Right.
but something to be nurtured throughout life.
Absolutely. Curiosity is the fuel for innovation, discovery, and personal growth.
Yeah.
It's about staying open to new ideas, asking questions, and constantly seeking to expand your understanding of the world.
So it's not just about what you know, but how you approach learning and continue to learn.
Exactly. It's a mindset, a way of engaging with the world. Staying curious keeps your mind sharp, your heart open, and your life vibrant.
It's like the opposite of getting stuck in a rut.
Precisely. Curiosity is the antidote to complacency.
Right.
It's the driving force behind progress and innovation.
This is all making me think about the power of voice and how it shapes our experience. You both touch on this in the interview. Even trying your hand at imitating iconic voices like James Earl Jones as Darth Vader.
Yeah, it's a fun exercise that highlights how a voice can bring a character or a story to life.
Think about it, the tone, the inflection, even the pauses can have a huge impact on how we perceive information,
Yeah.
whether it's a fictional story or a scientific explanation.
And that circles back to making science and complex topics more accessible.
Yeah,
Finding the right voice, the right way to explain something,
right.
can make it engaging and relatable for a wider audience.
You both also highlight the importance of authentic representation in media. It's something you've championed throughout your career.
Representation matters. When people see themselves reflected in the media they consume, it validates their experiences
Right.
and inspires them to pursue their own dreams.
It's not just about seeing yourself on screen, but about challenging stereotypes and broadening our understanding of the world.
Exactly. The more diverse voices we hear, the richer our perspectives become.
Now, before we wrap up our deep dive, let's go back to this idea of curiosity as a driving force for someone listening who might be feeling stuck or uninspired. What advice would you give them based on your own journey?
I'd say tap into your inner child. Think back to what fascinated you when you were younger.
Okay.
What sparked your imagination?
Was it dinosaurs, space travel, building things, whatever it was? That spark is probably still there waiting to be rekindled.
And who knows where it might lead you?
A new career path, a hobby you're passionate about.
The possibilities are endless as long as you're willing to be curious and explore.
It's a great reminder that we don't have to have it all figured out.
Right.
Sometimes the most exciting discoveries come from following a path we didn't expect.
Exactly. It's about embracing the unknown and being open to where curiosity might lead you.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into this conversation between Neil deGrasse Tyson and Laurence Fishburne, I want to leave you with a final thought.
Okay.
Think about something that's always intrigued you.
Huh?
Something that piqued your curiosity, but you've never fully explored.
Maybe it's a historical event,
Yeah.
a scientific concept, a new skill you want to learn, or a place you've always dreamed of visiting.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I encourage you to take some time this week to dive into it.
Do some research, watch a documentary,
Right.
read a book, or even just have a conversation with someone who knows more about it than you do.
The point is to indulge that curiosity and see where it takes you. You never know what amazing discoveries you might make or what new passions you might uncover.
That's what this deep dive has been all about, exploring the power of curiosity and how it can fuel our passions, our careers, and our understanding of the world around us.
And remember, as Neil deGrasse Tyson and Laurence Fishburne remind us, curiosity is not just a childish impulse. It's a lifelong pursuit and a driving force behind innovation, discovery, and personal growth.
So keep those minds curious, those imaginations ignited, and thanks for joining us on the deep dive.